So happy Friday. A few years ago, I posted a lot of videos called Monday Motivation, where we would have a short time in God's Word, and enjoyed doing that. And for whatever reason, that was a season and I stopped. But lately, the Lord has really impressed on me that I needed to begin posting some more videos. I am not doing Monday Motivation, but today is Friday Focus in the Word. So I wanted this to be the first Friday Focus, and hopefully I'll see you a lot more Fridays than just today. But I wanted to share with you just a brief story of mine. This past Sunday, I taught the ladies' Sunday school class that I teach. The lesson was from Exodus. It was actually chapter 1. It was our first Sunday in Exodus. And we read where the Israelites or Hebrews had multiplied. God had blessed them. They had multiplied. They had grown more powerful. And the Pharaoh that did not know Joseph and the history of all of that grew fearful that the Hebrews would become more powerful than the Egyptians and turn on them, basically. So he started to, he had a plan A to get rid of the Hebrews or to subdue the Hebrews, and that was to oppress them with bitter labor. And even so, the Israelites continued to grow and multiply. But I had to think about the Israelites as they were slaves in a foreign land, were oppressed, were having to work beyond what anyone should. And even though they probably knew of God's covenant with Abraham, that they would be foreigners for 400 years in a land, they would be enslaved in a foreign land. And even though God had promised to bring them out and bless them, they had to, under those bitter circumstances that they were in Egypt, begin to doubt. Even though they had heard and knew God's promise, they had trouble believing it, doubting it, trusting Him in the bitter circumstances they were in. So this was the lesson on Sunday. By Tuesday, I was given the opportunity to be tested. A circumstance came up in my life that I began to doubt God's goodness, His faithfulness. I was doubting, even though I believed in His promises, I was having trouble trusting them at that time with the bitter circumstance that came up in my life. And so then I was reminded of the lesson that I had learned while preparing to teach and the lesson that I taught on Sunday. And the Lord kind of kicked me in the pants there, a little conviction, but God gives us His promises and we can trust them because God does not lie. God does not change. He is faithful to His promises. He promises that nothing happens that is out of His control, that all things work for the good, for His plans and His purposes. And no matter how we feel about our circumstances, we can trust Him. So I had to back up when I was angry and bitter and sad, tears. I had to remember all these things, all these truths from God's Word that I've known through studying the Word through the years and also just from the lesson on Sunday. So my encouragement to you today, this Friday focus, is to continue to stay in God's Word, know His promises, and trust in His promises. And no matter what circumstances you were in, you can grieve over them, you can be angry over them, you can be bitter for a moment. But then you've got to go back and remember what God has promised you, refocus, and just trust him moving forward. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend. God bless you, and have a great week.